I've been using the Ninja Crispi for almost a year now and I've learned a lot. I also run a Ninja Crispi Facebook group where members and I share recipes, tips and help each other out. The group is growing rapidly into an amazing community. I'd like to start off by thanking everyone in the group for making it a success, for trusting me and supporting me in my efforts to keep it friendly, helpful and spam-free. A lot of the same questions keep coming up, so I thought I'd put them all in one video to help. It's easier to understand visually and hopefully you'll pick up a few tricks along the way. I'm not claiming to be an expert or know everything about the Crispi. These are just some helpful tips I've learned along the way after using it and what I've learned from group members. Hi, I'm Meme and welcome to my channel. If you like hands-on reviews, tips and practical advice, make sure to subscribe and check out my other videos where I show the Crispi in action. Let's jump into the frequently asked questions. So what's the difference between the 3-in-1, 4-in-1 and 5-in-1? The 3-in-1 was the very first edition. It had recrisp, air fry and max crisp settings. The 4-in-1 released shortly after with an additional setting, bake, and that's the one I'm using. The 5-in-1 is a Costco exclusive only. In addition to the 6-cup and 4-quarter containers, it comes with a 2.5-quarter container and lid. And it also comes with a power pod cover for easier transporting. My 4-in-1 doesn't have a bake or roast setting. The North American versions are labeled as bake, UK versions are roast. They work the same way, they're just naming differences. I also think Max Crisp is labeled as Air Crisp in the UK. Okay, how do I change the temperature? You can't adjust the temperature on the Crispi. The settings are all configured with preset temperatures which are shown on the stickers here or in the guidebook. Based on what my group UK members have told us, they do not have any given temperature ranges for each setting. Per the UK Crispi guide, the highest temperature is 200 degrees Celsius or 400 degrees Fahrenheit and the lowest is 70 degrees Celsius or 160 degrees Fahrenheit. I did create a chart a while back to help those confused with the settings, and it can be found in the files section of my Facebook group. I'm having trouble getting the power pod to stay put. When you're using the small 6-cup container, you need to remove the adapter, then the power pod will balance correctly on the container. For the medium and large container, you need to attach the adapter to the power pod first, then place it on the container. When do you not use the Crispi plate? The crisper plate, or tray as I sometimes call it, helps to crisp up your food. When you're not looking to achieve crispy results or you just want to reheat food like pasta or rice, then you don't need to use the Crispi plate. Can I cook without the crisper plate? Yes, you can cook directly in the glass bowl, but you have to stir or toss your food halfway through for even cooking. Remember, there is no heat flowing from the bottom. It flows from the top down. So when you're not using the crisper tray, there's no way for the heat to get under your food. So you need to toss more frequently depending on what you're cooking and how you've set your food in the container. Why doesn't my crisper plate fit in the bowl? There have been multiple comments about the crisper plate not fitting in the bigger container properly. I believe this was mostly happening in the UK where the silicone tabs were much bigger, so the tray wouldn't fit in properly and it was making it too high up in the container. This is what my tray looks like in my big container. It is fairly down to the bottom, but the smaller container is slightly higher and you can see that there's a bigger gap. Avoid forcing it in because too much pressure can damage the silicone tabs, causing them to pop off. Or if your tray seems unusually elevated, I would contact Ninja support for a replacement. It is a known issue. I have actually seen a few members flip it upside down and use it, and that seems to work. But if the tray is getting quite frustrated, I would contact Ninja support. They are really good at responding. Is the crisper tray made of Teflon? No, it has a non-stick nano-ceramic coating. Do I need to preheat the Crispi? Not always. Preheating is optional, but I personally find it works better for meats, chicken or fish. It locks in the juices and it ensures even cooking, and I also like to hear that sizzle as I place it on the plate. I don't bother when cooking frozen foods, veggies or bread. It does, however, cook food faster if you preheat the unit first. It really just depends on how much time you have. How do I preheat the Crispi? Set the temperature you plan to cook at and run it empty for about 5 to 7 minutes before adding your food. Can I change the temperature or mode mid-cooking? Yes, you can adjust the temperature or switch modes while cooking. Just choose another mode or press the arrows and it will change to that. You don't need to press stop first and then restart the machine. Is it correct that the unit can't be set for more than 30 minutes at one time? Yes, but for recrisp and bake only. You can simply restart it if you need to add more time. Air fry and max crisp or air crisp if that's what you have, both max out at 60 minutes. How do I lift the hot crisper plate out, especially when it's loaded with food? I use silicone tip tongs by poking it through one of the bigger, wider holes here, and that helps me lift up the tray. I know the Ninja guide says to use a fork, but I prefer to avoid that because it may scratch the tray. I'm excited to jump right in. What should I cook first? Chicken wings, grilled cheese, salmon, chicken are all popular items to try first and you'll be hooked. Avoid broccoli, Brussels sprouts or steak until you're comfortable. These are tricky and will likely throw you off your crispy. I'm new to air frying and I feel overwhelmed. What should I do? Take it slow and start with easy foods. Cook frozen foods like nuggets or fries on max crisp, chicken wings, thighs or breast on air fry mode, or baby potatoes on the recrisp setting. Watch your food closely the first few times until you understand how it works. You can also watch my step-by-step video to help you get started. I will leave links in the description box and at the end of this video. Can I cook multiple foods at once? Yes, as long as foods have similar cooking times, otherwise the smaller portion or the faster cooking one may overcook. How should I cook multiple food items? If you have space, place them both side by side on the tray. If not, place the veggies at the bottom and the protein at the top, or the other way around. Just note these important points. If you have protein at the top, the juices will fall into the veggies. Some are okay with it, some are a little worried about raw meat juices dripping into their veggies, but honestly, the juices cook and the veggies get that extra flavor. If you decide to add the protein to the bottom and the veggies at the top, the veggies will cook much faster than the protein. So either add them towards the last 10 minutes or so, or take them out earlier. Either way, remember that the food on the top layer will restrict the airflow reaching the bottom, so the bottom will take slightly longer to cook compared to when nothing is placed above it. It all comes down to air circulation. How do I prevent cheese or bread from flying around? For cheese on pizza or an open-faced sandwich, my best advice is to add it when the air fryer is hot. So preheat it first for about 4 minutes, use that time to prep your food, then place it in for about 30 to 60 seconds before turning the air fryer on. The heat will instantly melt and kind of glue the cheese together and nothing will fly off. For bread, tortillas or a closed sandwich, there are 3 things you can do. Number 1, follow the Ninja guide and add toothpicks to hold it down. Number 2, if you don't have any toothpicks on hand, place your other crisper tray on top to hold it down. The tray has holes in it so there won't be complete air blockage from the top or the bottom. Number 3, use either the bake or the recrisp setting, but note it will initially start strong as the fan kicks in for about 2-3 seconds, but then it settles. The fan speed runs lower compared to the air fry setting. If you want to make toast, again use either the bake or the recrisp setting for about 3 minutes or so, depending on the bread you're using. I do find though that it does dry out plain toast, so adding butter immediately after or even before does help. Do I really need to spray everything with oil? Not always. A light mist helps with crisping, but it's totally optional. I judge it based on the food. If it already has enough of its own oils and already produces a lot of grease, then I won't spray any oil to it, and if I've already mixed it into the marination. Most of the time I do spray the tray so that the food doesn't stick to it, and you also want to avoid using any aerosol spray cans because that can ruin the coating. It's best to use a spray bottle that you can add your own choice of oil to it. Many members prefer avocado oil since it has a higher smoke point than olive oil, making it better for high heat cooking. I will leave a link to the one that I use in the description box. Can I cook rice, pasta or casseroles? You can't cook rice or pasta since you can't add water to the air fryer. Casserole, I believe, has been shared by a couple of people in the group. You're welcome to check it out and see how it can be made. Can I bake a cake in it? Yes, as long as you use a pan that fits inside and is oven safe. And it's definitely a good idea to preheat before baking your cake. It does make a big difference. Since I can't adjust the temperature, the lowest temperature for me is bake, ranging from 375 to 400 degrees Fahrenheit. It is way too high to bake a cake because it browns the top before cooking through. So the way around that is to cover the top. You can use foil or you can pop on a steel lid because I find it much easier to deal with. Some members have baked in muffin tins or cupcake molds, and it seems smaller cakes bake better. And just to give you a glimpse of my brownie test, this is without covering, and you can see that it's not cooked all the way through to the bottom. It's actually just falling apart, and the outside is way too dark. And this is the version that has been covered. It cooked beautifully through and nice and moist inside as well. You can find the full details to this experiment in the Facebook group, and I can also link it in this video if you guys want to check it out. If you guys are enjoying this video, please do consider subscribing. I not only have lots of air fryer reviews, but if you love Ninja products, I do cover as many as I can if I can get my hands on them. Okay, this question comes up quite a lot. Can I make eggs in it? Yes, eggs cook great if the unit is preheated first and you use an oven safe dish. I have tried a boiled egg which I placed directly on the tray. It was fun watching it roll around, but I did have some success with it. Peeling it was the hard part. There are numerous posts in the group about the best way to cook eggs using different cookware, from ramekins, steel bowls and cast iron pans. So if this is something you're looking for, definitely check out the posts in the group. There'll also be comments like, why would you want to make eggs? It's faster in a pan. But remember, the Crispi has been designed to use anywhere. Some people take it camping, some take it to their place of work. They may not have access to a pan or stove. So if someone asks how to make an egg, I really wish people would stop criticizing and just help them out if they can. Otherwise, move on. Can you fit a whole roast chicken in the Crispi? Yes. Small to medium birds fit perfectly, but make sure airflow is unblocked. As long as you're not having issues with your crisper tray and it is fairly low, you should be able to fit in a medium bird at least up to 2 kilos. Again, this has been shared in the group a few times, so feel free to go check it out. What can't I cook in the Crispi? Avoid soups, very wet batters, and like I mentioned earlier, rice or pasta, because they need to be cooked in liquid and that won't work in this. If it takes 30 minutes to bake 1 potato, how long will it take to bake 4? As long as they're all the same size, 4 potatoes will cook in the same amount of time as 1 baked potato. Just be sure they're spaced evenly for airflow. Is it okay to fill the container with food or better to cook in a layer? Single layers cook more evenly. Don't overfill, otherwise the bottom may stay undercooked. There is no heat at the bottom. The heat only comes from the top and it needs a space to circulate to the bottom. If you do overfill, or if you're cooking directly in the container, you will have to stir or toss your food multiple times to get even cooking and browning results. Where can I find a good recipe book? Avoid random Amazon books. They're likely generated by AI, by people who have never used the Crispi. Look for trusted group member recommendations or an influencer you follow or see online that recommends a book. Do I need to use additional accessories in the Crispi? You don't need to, but some members have shown creative ways to use them. They are totally optional. The group's biggest contributor, Peter Tulk, has shared multiple ways to cook food, including eggs, using a range of accessories. You should definitely check it out. So what accessories can I use in the Crispi? Oven safe items from cast iron to stainless steel. Always check the sizes first. Place them on the crisper plate. Never place cookware directly in the bowl or allow the cookware to touch the glass bowl. It may shatter the glass. Where can I find the accessories list? In the Facebook group. Check the featured tab. We have a full list shared by members. I'll also leave a link in the description box if you guys want to check it out. These are not Ninja branded, but rather items found around various places like Amazon, Target, Dollar Store. I personally don't use any unless I'm baking a cake. It all depends on how creative you want to get and how easy it is you find using these additional accessories. How do I clean under the power pod or grill area? This is another popular question, but first let me show you mine after 11 months of use. And I'm pretty sure I'll be getting some not so polite comments on it, but yes, it is stained quite a bit, but it shows just how much I've used it. If you spend all your time stressing about stains on your Crispi, you will never enjoy it. Ninja make almost all of their products impossible to clean. Also, if you use any air fryer basket type, I guarantee you it'll be worse than this. You just can't see it. There are several methods shown in the group, like using ammonia or hot water and lemon, but honestly, just try your best to wipe it down with a damp cloth and a bit of dish soap once it's cool. I did forget to do this a few times in the beginning, which is also why it looks like this. Many people have suggested unscrewing the grill to wash it, but just note, if you do that, you will void the warranty. So I'm actually just waiting for my warranty to end and then I'll do that. I do clean the steel parts of the adapter using a Brillo pad and it comes out shiny. This is what it looked like first. I purposely left it greasy to show you how easy it is to clean with a Brillo pad, and here it is after washing it, all shiny. I did try to use a Brillo pad once on the grill, but it was a little difficult and there is a risk of the tiny wool fibers falling in or getting trapped in the heating element, which can cause a hazard. So don't use anything that can leave tiny microfiber residue behind on the heating element. Can I use a silicone cover on the PowerPod grill? To save their grills from getting stained, some members have invested in silicone covers to place on top of the grill, but later found that it actually restricts the airflow and causes food to take much longer to cook. So I would avoid these. The grill is already your protector for the heating element, and the reason it is stainless steel is so that the heat can circulate through it. Ninja didn't design it without thinking it through. Trust me, you really have to stop stressing about the heating element getting stained. Should I use liners? These are totally optional. I personally don't because I find it so easy to clean the Ninja Crispi and the trays. I will use parchment paper if I'm making bread or pizza to prevent the dough from seeping through the holes on the crisper tray. If you do decide to, then use perforated parchment liners to allow airflow. How do I wash the bowls, and should I remove the plastic base? Wash bowls with warm soapy water or in the dishwasher. The plastic surrounding does not come off, and don't even attempt to remove them because they will damage. If you ever have trapped grease in between the glass and the plastic, I find these slim skewers from the dollar store and a baby wipe work great. Don't use a paper towel because it tears and it can get stuck in there, but the wipe won't tear as you slide it in. How do I dry the glass bowls? I like to air dry them by laying them on the side to let the water drip out. Is it safe to reheat straight from the fridge or freezer? I haven't tried reheating directly from the freezer. When I take the bowls out of the fridge, I usually let them sit at room temperature for about 5-10 minutes first. I'm not sure if it really makes a difference, but I do it to avoid thermal shock. Glass is tough, but going straight from cold to hot can cause it to crack. The Ninja guide says it's fine to reheat from frozen, but I'd still be cautious, especially since I've seen reports of glass shattering for no clear reason. The section of the power cord near the vent gets hot. Is that normal? Unfortunately, they've designed it by placing the vent right next to the cord, and if it's dangling too close, it gets super hot. I luckily haven't had any issues with it. I do sometimes wrap the cord around the power pod. Again, our group's big contributor, Peter Tulk, has shared his cord cover tip, so you should definitely check out his post in the Ninja group. Where should I place the power pod after cooking when it's hot? According to Ninja, you can place it on your counter because it has heat resistant feet. But for me, it's not the feet that bother me as much as the heat being transferred to my counter that bothers me. So I prefer to use something heat safe like my pizza dish since I have it lying around all the time. Otherwise, I would buy a silicone mat to protect my counter. It's totally up to you. I've heard the glass containers can shatter. Should I worry? With every product, there are always risks. There have been multiple air fryer fires, and just like that, this is also a risk. Use your Ninja Crispi correctly, don't add any liquids and avoid thermal shock. The biggest tip that I can give is to check them for any cracks or chips before using, especially if you put them in the dishwasher often. Also do a check when you take it out of the box for any signs of a hairline crack or chipped glass which may have occurred during shipping. One side cooks more than the other. Is that normal? Yes, totally normal. I've seen it happen with most air fryers and toaster ovens because of how the fan circulates heat. So one area just runs hotter. Together with flipping your food, it's also best to rotate your food. With the Crispi, you can actually rotate the power pod instead. That helps even out those hot spots. Again, this suggestion is credited to Peter Tulk. Just be careful not to face the hot vent towards anything that could get damaged by the heat or where young kids could get close to it. And the final frequently asked question, is the Crispi worth it? I will say it's very convenient, fast and simple to use once you get the hang of it. It doesn't come with all the bells and whistles like temperature adjustments, lighting, a temperature probe, but that's what makes it simple. It doesn't heat up your kitchen, it's ideal for quick meals, you can even cook in the bowl. It's non-toxic and easy to wash. The PowerPod grill is probably the biggest issue that most will have, but once you look past that, the Crispi is great for singles, couples and even small families. And it's perfect if you want to take it camping, to your workplace and even on vacation, as long as you can find a suitable travel bag. And that's it, the most common Crispi questions answered. If you have a question I haven't answered, please drop a comment below and I will try my best to answer it. Or you can pop over to the Ninja Crispi group and you can search for your answers there. If you want to see the Crispi in action, check out my full demos to help get you started. I hope you found this video useful. Please do leave a like and don't forget to subscribe, and I hope to catch you in my next video.